Welcome to the Contagious Leaders Coaching Club. We are so thrilled to be in partnership with you in this exciting journey. Month in, month out, we're going to be bringing you content, leadership development content. And what we've really tried to do in the Contagious Leaders Coaching Club is create a conversation, an ongoing conversation, so you don't have to start and stop because you need to be in the conversation every single month. My name's John Hersey. I'm CEO and founder of John Hersey International. And together with Beverly Belluri, we've created this conversation, the Contagious Leaders Coaching Club, to help you become a better leader, to help you explode in your own career, but also to help you create a culture within your own company of contagious leadership. Now, today, I'm in the dressing room at the Fountain Hills Community Theater in Fountain Hills, Arizona, and I'm here for a particular reason, because leadership is very much like putting on a play. It has a lot of acts, and you need to choose your role, because every day you've got a different role, don't you? But you need to choose what role you're going to play as a leader. Contagious leadership is quite different than the older form of leadership. I'm going to get to that in a second. So this is all about building yourself a play, if you will, a leadership play. And remembering that, leadership, like the play, we wear a lot of different hats during the course of our time. And in this particular module, what we're going to do is we're going to make the distinction to tee up all of this multiple modules we're going to bring you. We're going to tee up the contagious leadership conversation by making the distinction of a contained leader versus a contagious leader. So let's go do that. Okay, so contained, contagious. I bet you thought we were going to have a beautiful set here. Well, you know what? We chose this for a specific reason, because there's a new play in production. And with a new play in production, you got to create a new set. Isn't that a little bit like in business? Every day we go to work and there's like a new set. It's a new role to choose. There's new talent to select. There's new partners to work with. That's the way it is. And it works. And what we have to do is work with what we have. Let's talk about this contained, contagious distinction. First of all, contained leaders are the old way of leadership. Contained leaders' leadership style is what we call the old command and control. It's like, here's what I want you to do, here's how I want you to do it, now go do it, now report back. Well, where's the creativity allowed in that? Contagious leaders, on the other hand, what we're all about is saying, here's what we have to accomplish. Now, how can I help you? What support do you need? So contagious leaders are all about empowering. Contained leaders are all about directing or dictating. Okay, so we're talking about Act 1 now, contained, contagious. That's what this module is. And the first habit, if you will, that I really want to talk about that contagious leaders have in this distinction is change. Embracing change. When you come to work every day and something's changed, like the set is all a mess, something's changed. Contained leaders resist that. Contained leaders want it just so. And I'll be honest with you, when I first saw this set, I got a little nervous. It's not just so. But we worked with what we had. Contagious leaders, on the other hand, they don't resist change. They embrace change. They look forward to change. Think about how much change is going on in your world. Think about the internet. Think about social media. Think about pricing. Think about, exports. Think about the world is flat, and where you have your partners these days. What we need to do as contagious leaders is we need to identify that change is inevitable. And as contagious leaders, we don't resist it like the contained leaders do. We get excited by it, and we get in front of it, because that's our job. That's contained, contagious in terms of change. Now, the second habit I want to talk about for the contained, contagious distinction is it's a matter of focus. Contained leaders are focused on themselves. They are inner focused. It's all about them. Their job, their promotion, their role, their raise, their benefit package, their bonus, whatever it is. Have you ever heard at a meeting, a big all-employee meeting, people stand up and say, my staff, as if the staff was theirs. It's not theirs. They're very inner-focused. Whereas contagious leaders, they're outer-focused. They're focused on the other folks. They're focused on the team. Beverly Belluri, my partner, has a wonderful way of saying, you know, you can always spot a contagious leader because they're the ones sitting in the front row applauding the accomplishments of others. That's what contagious leaders do. They're out of focus. Contained leaders are inner focus. Contagious leaders are out of focus. That's just the way it is. And our job as contagious leaders is to focus as much of that spotlight on everybody else to empower them, to get them excited so that they're engaged, so that we're engaged. All right, let's talk about communication for a second. How important is that? Contained leaders control it. It's controlled communication. It's almost as if the contained leader doesn't trust anyone with information, so I'm going to dole it out in little pieces. And what happens is people are kept guessing. They don't really know what's going on. Contagious leaders, on the other hand, they make the assumption that people have responsibility and integrity, and they're going to use that information for the betterment of the organization, for the betterment of their team, for the betterment of their job, for the betterment of their company. So they share information, and it becomes much broader. Here's the deal on communication. Most of us don't do it very well. Most organizations don't do it very well, yet we think it's important. And it's all about controlling it or sharing it. Controlling it or sharing it. And what control does is it makes the other people assume they're not trusted. And if they're not trusted, they're not valued. And if they're not valued, they begin to settle. And they don't create, they don't innovate, they don't contribute. Contagious leaders, on the other hand, share the information, which makes creativity and innovation abound because it gets people engaged. Communication, contained versus contagious. Okay, so I want to move on to the rest of the habits in this distinction. But for the next one, I gotta have a seat. So hold on a second. I'll be right back. I want to bring out this stool here because this next one distinction is contained leaders follow the rules. Now, I want to be a little careful here. I'm not suggesting everybody run out and start breaking rules, although in some cases that wouldn't be a bad idea. What I'm talking about is contained leaders seem to mindlessly follow the rules. Mindlessly follow, in some cases, really dumb rules. Think about inside of your organization. How many rules have been created to protect you from customers who in 1% or 0.5% of the time are going to do something, while that rule impacts everybody? Contagious leaders, on the other hand, they don't follow the rules, they adapt the rules. Now, not in every case, but they've learned to adapt the rules. Over time, they've learned to adapt the rules. Now, I know in some cases, it's a little awkward to go to your superiors, to go to your boss and say, hey, this rule is dumb. Although we work with some organizations that actually encourage that, who have as part of their mission statement, no dumb rules. Okay, so what we're talking about here is through the Contagious Leaders Coaching Club, you're going to develop the confidence. Through each of these modules, you're going to develop the confidence to be able to go to superiors and have really intelligent conversations about, is this really what we want to portray? Is these rules? Does it support what our mission is or not? That's contained leaders follow rules. Contagious leaders adapt the rules. The next one here is contained leaders focus on people's weakness. They incessantly focus on people's weakness. They go around in their life, in their day, in their month, their week, whatever it might be, and they're looking for the mistakes that people have made. You know, how many of us have grown up with well-intentioned parents and guidance counselors and teachers, but their mission in life seemed to be to point out all of our weaknesses? You know, I could have told the teachers when I was a sophomore in high school I wasn't going to be any good at geometry, but they beat on it until I was ready to scream. Contagious leaders, on the other hand, focus on people's greatness. Now, they do not ignore people's weakness, but they really focus and nurture people's greatness. When I was that sophomore in high school, no one came to me and said, looks like you like to be in front of people, you like to have conversations, you're good with people, have you thought about the drama club, have you thought about the debate team? No one did that because they were so focused on my weaknesses. Contagious leaders focus on people's strengths. They identify people's strengths. And when we get to the module of looking to greatness and you play the jigsaw challenge, you're going to see how powerful that tool can be. Final distinction. Why we can't, how we will. How many organizations have we worked with that seem to have an attitude or a philosophy that's focused almost entirely on why we can't. You listen to them, you meet people, and in 30 seconds, they're willing to tell you what all the problems are, what all the challenges are, and why they're not succeeding. Or people advance a new notion about a new product or a new strategy or a new process, and you hear that old, oh, we've tried that before. Or we can't do that because. We don't have the budget because. And people are so focused on what they don't have. They're so focused on why they can't that it becomes like a culture that in the culture there's sort of like a weight around their neck. Whereas over here in the Contagious Leader, their job, they believe, is to focus on how we will. When you look at this stage, it's very easy to say, we're never going to make opening night, okay? But the people who put on these plays, here, on Broadway, around the world, they're focused on the vision. They're focused on how we will. That's the distinction between contained and contagious. Contagious leadership is today's form of leadership. It's today's method of leadership. The old form of command and control is outmoded. It does not work. And I'll tell you, it doesn't work because people will not work under that. Really quality people, and there seems to be a race for all of us to go out there and find the very best people. We're only going to be able to attract the very best people if we nurture them, if we encourage them, if we create a culture that allows for their creativity, allows for their innovation, allows for their performance, allows for them to collaborate with other people. Contained leaders don't do that. Contagious leaders do. Okay, so that's contained, contagious. Now, in terms of the importance of all of this contagious leadership, let me ask you a couple of questions. First of all, which leader would you most like to work with? A contained leader or a contagious leader? And how about inspiration? Which leader do you think is most inspiring, the contained leader or the contagious leader? And what about developing your talents or the talents of others? Who does more of it, the contagious leader or the contained leader? Of course it's the contagious leader. I knew you were going to come up with that. Over the course of a dozen or so years of teaching leadership, speaking on leadership, writing on leadership, if we've learned anything, we've learned that the companies with the best performance are the companies that really focus on developing and nurturing a well-defined culture. And that culture comes from the people. The people that you bring into the organization, the people you develop inside the organization. And the best way to develop people is to create a culture. The best way to attract people is to create a culture that is well defined. And that we know that the benefit of creating that contagious leadership culture is, first of all, you're going to become a better leader. And when you become a better leader, you're going to get more sought after, you're going to get more promotion, you're going to get more accolades, you're going to be more productive, you're going to be able to develop more leaders in your own right. And you know what? You're going to have more fun. You're going to enjoy the process of what you do much more, your colleagues, your environment. Contagious leadership is the game today. And this is the first step in this wonderful play that we have called Creating Contagious Leadership and the Contagious Leaders Coaching Club. Be well and be contagious.